Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact step you need to take on how to analyze football matches and pick the best game to win consistently. In this tutorial, I will share with you some tips and tricks which you can use to always find the best match picks, winning consistently starting today. So we are going to be using an app called SofaScore for this analytics and making sure that we are going to use statistics and data trend to confirm our pick. So to begin with, I'm going to make a search and locate SofaScore app and proceed from there. Once you make search on your Google browser's SofaScore prediction, you are going to see this particular website called SofaScore.com. If you click on this particular site, you are going to see a front page that looks like this. From the front end, there are matches being displayed to you. And when I talked about making sure that you analyze a game or making research on a particular match before placing your bet, then of course you need to use second or third party site like SofaScore or FlashScore to check statistics and data trend. I will share with you as an example here, we have matches for today, like in the UEFA Europa League, we have a match between Leverkusen playing against West Ham. To come out with the best predictions in kind of games like this, once you are using sites like SofaScore, then of course, you want to come to the game itself. As you can see here, the first thing you want to do is to click on that match itself. Once you do that, what you are going to see is that there is going to be a table data by the side of this area if you are using a PC, but if you are using a mobile device, then once you click on this, you are going to be taken to a new page. You are going to see something that looks like this, as you can see from the right hand. And here, we have an area here called details. You can see it here. We also have this area called lineup, and there is an area called matches. To come out with the best pick, what you want to do is to make use of this particular sub-menu that you are going to see here. Details, lineup, and matches. In the detail area, they are just going to give you analysis, like as you can see here, they are telling you that when the odds are 1.40, the expected chance of winning here is 71%, but this team actually wins 79% matches with this odd. They are telling you that if you look at this highlight here, they are telling you that this particular logo of the team highlighted here, which in this case is Leverkusen, since it is playing against West Ham. You want to look at this highlight, and once you look at this highlight, they are already giving you an upper head or telling you, in other words, that the favorite team in this particular match to predict here is already Leverkusen. Here they are telling you that Leverkusen usually win at 71%, but now the expected chance of it to win is 79%. Telling you that they have increased in form, and as a result, you now want to start to look at the fact that the home team, which is Leverkusen, can win in this game. This is one of the highlights you need to look at when it comes to research. And after that, what you want to do as the next step is to come now to this area here that says matches. I will share with you a very small trick which you want to use to come out with the best result. If you come to this area here that says matches, click on that particular area. Once you do that, you are going to see this table being displayed to you. But of course, I don't want to concentrate here. I want to move to an area where you are going to see this area that says matches. In this area, you are going to see this particular area that says head-to-head. But what I want you to do is to come to this particular team, which is the favorite team that has been given, and click on the logo. Once you click, what you are going to see is they are going to show you the past matches that has been played by Bayer Leverkusen, especially for those of you looking for a straight win. Since you have already had a highlight from the upper area in the details section, where they are telling you that if you look at the details, they are telling you that Leverkusen is the favorite team and they have an upper form. But now in the section of the matches area, you want to come to this area that says and click to the highlight or to the logo of the favorite team and try to analyze based on the last event they have played. What you want to look at is to mostly look at the event which they had not far ago, especially most recently, and look at the team they played with, if it's a stronger team or a weak team. In this case, first, especially for those of you looking for goals or a straight win, you want to look at the matches they have played and looking at who scored or influence that particular game, especially for them to have that win. As an example, a match Leverkusen playing against Fortuna. You want to click on the game, you can see the end result was 4-0. But the technique here is looking at who actually influenced this game by scoring a lot of goals. If you want to have the result, then you want to click on that match itself and look at the form table or at the table of the matches that were played and who scored that goal. You are going to see a graph which will be displayed to you. In this here, this is the graph. As you can see here, you are going to see something that looks like this from the graph. And on the graph, you are going to see the particular individual that influenced that game and who scored most of the goal. Here, we have a 10 shirt here who scored 2 goals, as you can see, being highlighted by the goal beside it. The player name is called Florian Wirtz. You want to make sure that you take note of that particular individual or player that influenced the game for goal scoring. You want to jot it down and make sure that you check this in the future or in the next explanation. You want to jot it down because we are going to use this. And the next player is the 21 shirt called Amin Adi, who also scored goal. Now you already know that there's another player here called Jeremiah or Jeremy, and he also scored a goal. Now these are 4 goals here, as you can see, and we already note the player. The 30th shirt, 10th shirt, 21, and as you can see displayed here. You now have in mind who are the players that influence this game. After you have seen that, you want to move one step behind by clicking on the back arrow here to come one step behind and repeat the same thing for the opponent they are playing and see who actually influenced their game in the last match they have played. By still coming to the matches area, then of course you want to scroll down and come now to this area, which is West Ham. Also click on West Ham and look at the recent game they have played, especially goal scoring game, who actually influenced that game when it comes to goal scoring. In this case, we have West Ham, Newcastle against West Ham. You also want to repeat the same step by clicking on it, and you are going to see a graph based on who scored goal in the West Ham United, in the West Ham section. And once you look at the graph being displayed to you like this, if you look at West Ham section, you are going to see players who scored this goal, like for example, Mohamed Kudus, and you have Lucas, and as well as Jarut. These are the players here. You can see the goal here. We have Jarut. You can see this 9 shirt here, Michael Antonio, and you can see this 14 shirt, Mohamed Kudus. In fact, these are the 3 players here who scored a lot of goals. 20 shirt, 9 and 14, Mohamed Kudus, Michael Antonio, as well as Jarut. Now, since you already have in mind, you also want to jot this down to note the exact players who scored or influenced this game based on goal scoring. Especially for those of you who want to go for goals, especially over 1.5 or over 2.5 or 3.5 goals. Now, since you have most of these players scoring goals, for those of you looking for goal, of course, you want to move again one step behind and now come now to the match itself and look at the lineup. In this case, we were actually a match Leverkusen and West Ham. Click again on that match, and now this time you want to use this menu here called lineup by clicking on the lineup. The technique here is to look at if those players who influences the game based on last match in the terms of goal scoring are found in this game based on the lineup. If most of those players are found, then know that this game is mostly likely going to occur in the case of over 1.5 and 2.5. In this case, we want to look at Leverkusen, as you can see here. We want to check if we are going to see most of those players that influence the game. You can see this is the 10 shirt here, Florian Wirtz, which is good. This is the 21 shirt here, Amin Adi, people who scored the goal in the last match. That is also good. And you can see that these are 2 players that actually influenced the last match and also the 30th shirt that you can see here, Jeremy. Telling you that the possibility of Leverkusen to either win or score more goal in this game is very high. You also want to conclude by looking at that of the opponent for West Ham, and you also know the players who scored or influenced the game. You now also want to check to see if the players who scored or influenced the games are also here. In the case of the 10 shirt, you can see Lucas is here. You can also see Michael Antonio is also here, and you can see Mohamed Kudus. In other words, their front line all are present who make sure that goals always occur. As a result, You can now start to look at the possibility of over 1.5 and 2.5 goal to occur in this match in full time, as well as since from the beginning, due on details, you are looking at the possibility of the fact that it has been highlighted in this area that Bayer Leverkusen is going to win, since they have an increased form from 71% to 79%. In this way, you are going to know which team is going to take the lead, as well as what matches is going to act as 1.5 or 2.5 goal based on checking of analytics using statistics and data. This is one of the use case you need to apply to make sure that you always win consistently. Then looking at the fact of teams where you want to look at a straight win, as an example, I want to look at the match which has just been passed as one of the game being played. Like I want to look at this particular event here, Penarol playing with the opponent. If you want to come here, if you look at this event, it has ended as 5-0. If you come to this area that says standing, you are also going to see that based on the standing table, looking at the stand, then of course the team that has taken the lead is also having a great stand. Looking at standing is also one of very important criteria to look at, especially when analyzing game. Looking at the performance of the team based on home and the away performance and compare that with the opponent, then you are going to have an idea of what team you can take, especially looking at standing table. To find the standing table, what you want to do is, once you choose a particular team, like as an example, want to look at the match here, let's select any game in this list of games being displayed to us. As an example here, want to look at Al Ain and Al Jazeera. Once you look or click on a game like this, you want to come in this area that says standing, click on it, and you are going to see a table being displayed to you like this. You want to come to this drop-headed arrow or this three stripe, click on it and choose on this area that says full and click on full, so that you are going to see the full statistics, like for example the number of matches they have played. For Al Ain, 17, win 11, draw 2, lost 4, scored 42 and concede 22. As compared to that of the opponent, as you can see here, 17 game played, 6 wins, 3 draw, 8 losses, 36 goals scored and 35 goal conceded. You can also proceed by even making sure that you look at the home performance of the team, looking at the way this team perform at home and compare it with that of the opponent, how they do perform at away. And by doing this, you are going to come out with what team has a better performance based on the performance at home, away, and the overall standing. Doing this, be sure that you are going to come out with a more consistent result in terms of winning when it concerns soccer match picks. So these are the top strategy we want to explain to you. So do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you again in the next episode. Bye-bye.